Hello everyone, this video forms part of a YouTube collaboration that I have done with 3 other great YouTubers, Beth, who is cooking and crafting, Michael, who is Freda's ex, and Jolene, who is Jolene's sugar baker. And Beth and Jolene are actually the very first 2 YouTube channels that I ever subscribed to. Each of us is doing a Mother's Day dessert, and my contribution are these, which are Tres Leches Cupcakes. So the first thing you're going to do is combine your dry ingredients, which are 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You could also add 1/4 teaspoon of salt here if you use unsalted butter, but I'm going to be using salted butter in my recipe, so I omitted that. So in a large bowl, place 1/2 cup of butter that's been softened, which means it's come to room temperature, and 1.5 cups of sugar. And you're going to blend those things together until they are light and fluffy. Now to the sugar butter mixture, add 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then add 4 egg whites, 1 at a time, blending after each addition. I put all my egg whites in a bowl, so I just poured a little bit at a time until it was all combined. Now you're going to add in the dry ingredients as well as 1 1/3 cups of buttermilk. And you're going to add these alternately to the mixture, which means add a little bit of buttermilk, blend it, add a little bit of flour, blend it until they're all combined in about 3 additions or so. And once you combine this, you will get the most totally amazing fluffy white batter you've ever seen. You don't love me! Then line your cupcake pan with paper liners or with silicone cupcake liners and fill them up to about 2/3 full. I'm using a cookie scoop to do this. I learned this technique from Beth, who is cooking and crafting. It's a great way to fill up these cupcake liners without making a big mess. And a lot of people say that this looks like an ice cream scoop. It does look like an ice cream scoop, and you could probably use it for ice cream. However, it's a little bit smaller than your standard ice cream scoop. Now I ran out of paper liners, so I used some of my silicone liners just to see how they were going to turn out. And then bake these at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes or so until when you stick a toothpick in the center, it comes out clean. While that's baking, prepare the next part. In a measuring cup with a spout, that would probably be the best thing. Place 2/3 of a cup of evaporated milk. And yes, I had poured it once and forgot to turn my camera on, so I poured it again. And then add 1 14-ounce can, 300 milliliter can of sweetened condensed milk. And then 1/2 cup of coconut milk, not coconut cream, coconut milk. Tres leche means 3 milk, and these are the 3 milks that we're going to be pouring over top of the cupcakes when they're done. So once the cupcakes are baked, you're going to let them cool for about 10 minutes and then remove them from the paper or silicone liners and put them back into the muffin tins. And my muffin pans are really old and really ugly. I think it's just about time to buy new ones, I think. Something interesting about this recipe was that they seem to stick to my cupcake liners, and these silicone liners generally nothing sticks to them, so it was a little bit weird. So if you're using silicone liners, spray them with a little bit of cooking spray, and also when you're removing your paper liners, do it super carefully because the cupcakes are very delicate. So once all the paper liners or the silicone liners have been removed, you're going to poke a bunch of holes into the tops of the cupcakes, about a 1/2 inch apart or so. I used a wooden skewer to do this, and I poked about 10 holes or so in each cupcake. Then you're going to pour that milk mixture over the cupcakes. Now the milk mixture adds up to about 2 cups, and you have 2 dozen cupcakes. So you want to use about 1 cup of the mixture for each dozen. So you're going to have to mentally divide that up per cupcake. What I did is I started by pouring a little bit on each one. I looked at how much I had left in the measuring cup, and I continued until I used up the full cup for the dozen. I would estimate there's about 2 tablespoons of mixture on each cupcake. And then you're going to cover them with plastic wrap, put them in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, and this will allow that milk mixture to be absorbed into the cupcake. Now this part is optional. You can prepare a toasted coconut topping for these. What I did is I placed about 1/2 cup of sweetened flaked coconut into a skillet over medium-high heat, and I just stirred it continuously over the heat until it started to brown. Once it starts to brown, it goes real quickly, so keep an eye on it. And once you get to a nice golden brown, remove it from the heat and let it cool completely, and you will get a really nice, crunchy, toasty coconut topping for these. I suggest you serve these cupcakes with a little bit of sweetened whipped cream on the top. You can make your own from scratch, and I'll put the ingredients in the description box, or in this case I'm using just the canned whipped cream. and then sprinkle on a little bit of the toasted coconut if desired. And there it is, the completed cupcake. Now I wanted to cut one in half to show you here. Now if you'll notice at the bottom, when you cut it in half, some of that sweetened milk will ooze out the bottom because it's very moist. The cupcake itself is not super soggy. It does have some very moist parts from the cream, but it's not completely soaked and soggy. It is a lovely vanilla flavored cupcake, and all that sweetened milk in there makes it moist and wonderful. It truly is an amazing dessert. This is the first time I ever taste Tres Leches cupcakes or cake, and I loved it. To store these, I would remove them from the cupcake tins and put them into a suitable plastic container or glass container, and they need to be refrigerated. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. Now don't forget to watch all of these other great Mother's Day dessert specials. We have cinnamon roll cake by Michael, who is Freda's ex. I actually met Michael a couple of years ago at a YouTube gathering. We have double chocolate mud bars by Jolene Sugar Baker. I haven't met her yet, but I would like to. And of course, Ambrosia and more from my friend Beth, who is cooking and crafting. Thanks for watching.